Increasing pressure on Iran, the Trump administration issuing new sanctions on Iran's steel, aluminum, and copper sectors just hours after President Rouhani announced the country will partially withdraw from the 2015 nuclear deal. Here now to react is David Sears, a retired Navy SEAL. Let me ask you first, there are some that worry that we seem to be marching faster now towards armed conflict of some type with Iran. What are your thoughts on that?
No, I don't think we're marching faster towards armed conflict. I think that we're tightening the economic noose. So you have to use all your instruments of national power, and economics is a huge one that we can control. And I think we have to keep ramping it up on Iran.
What do you think of this threat for those that are still left in the Iran nuclear deal? It's sort of like nuclear blackmail, saying they're going to go back to enriching uranium and they're going to, back out of their half of the deal if the others don't get something together and get the U.S. in line. What do you make of that?
Yeah, that's exactly what it sounds like, is nuclear blackmail. And remember, Iran has proclaimed all along that it was never pursuing any type of a nuclear weapons capacity. And now they say, hey, we're going to re-engage in, get rid of the enrichment caps, get rid of the caps on the heavy water that we have. Europe is going to react. If they leave the deal, Europe now has an excuse to actually leave the deal. So Iran is really misjudging this entire situation, and I think they're overplaying what they believe their hand is.
So what do you think happens from here? I mean, obviously, the sanctions are really having an impact in the sense that, they're struggling, they're reaching out, they're trying to, put pressure on other folks. At the same time, President Trump responds by piling on even more sanctions. Where do you think this goes from here?
I think Iran is going to try to get Europe. There's a thing called Instex, which is an instrument for trading with Iran that Europe established. I don't think it's active actually yet, but they want Europe to try and give them some relief. I don't know that Europe can. They would have to choose between the U.S. and Iran, and that's a pretty easy choice. Yep. So Iran is going to try and, I think, wait out President Trump, and if he doesn't get another, they're hoping he doesn't get another term. If he does, Iran's going to have to come to the table and start to comply with some of the demands.
Yeah. At the same time, we see, President Trump moving more military forces into the area, and you hear about, the fact that the U.S. uncovered a plot on the part of Iran to strike at Americans in the area. How worrisome are both of those moves to you?
The movement of the military in there is not a big deal to me. They just upped the deployment kind of dates. They skipped a Croatian port, and now they're already going to they were already scheduled to go into the Gulf. So that's not that big a deal. The movement of the bombers is a little bit more of a big deal, moving the bombers over into Qatar. Yeah. That can help us respond. Now, if you see 2 or 3 carrier strike groups head into the Gulf, now you can start to say maybe something bigger is afoot. Iran is also, on the other question you asked, Iran is a nefarious entity, and they try to irritate and exacerbate the situation wherever they can. That means Afghanistan, they support the Taliban and Al-Qaeda in there. They're in Yemen, and they support the piracy that goes on throughout there. They're in Iraq, heavily influential. Years ago, they were really the ones doing a lot of the IEDs that were killing a lot of our guys. So they're going to try some of those things, but I think that they're going to find it's not really a great idea to test this president.
All right, David Sears, thank you for your expertise. We appreciate it.